Hello with everyone, my name is Jefferson Fainango, and in this occasion I'm going to explain the topic is differences and similarities between limiting adjectives in English and Spanish. Okay, first I'm going to start the presentation with a little introduction about the topic. Okay, the field of linguistics provides an interesting perspective on the nuances and complexity of language. One of the relevant areas of study is the analysis of limiting adjectives, which play a fundamental role in both English and Spanish. This presentation will explore the definition, form, and function of demonstrative, possessive, interrogative, indefinite adjectives, and ordinal numbers. Okay, highlighting both the distinctive characteristics and the common elements between these linguistic aspects in both language. Mantilla 2024. Okay. Continue with the presentation. We have the first adjective is demonstrative adjective. Demonstrative adjective in English are words that are used to indicate and specify the location or proximity of a noun in relation to the speaker. They have the function of indicating whether the object is close to the speaker or far from the speaker. Okay, the shape of these adjectives, we have the near speaker is in the singular form this, and the plural form is des. Okay, continue. The second form is far from the speaker. In the singular form is that, and the plural form is those. Okay, and in this part we have examples about this explication. Okay. Continue with the demonstrative adjective in Spanish are words used to indicate and specify the location or proximity of a noun in relation to the speaker. They have the function of indicating whether the object is close to the speaker, close to the listener, or far from both. Okay? The Spanish demonstrative adjectives are este, esta, estos, estas, is to refer to say this or this. Ese, esa, eso, esas is to refer to say that or those. And aquel, aquella, aquellos, aquellas is refer to say that, those, or further away. Okay. Continue. We have the difference about this topic. Okay. In this part, in Spanish, there is an additional distinction for the intermediate distance, ese, eso, esas, and one for the far distance is aquel, aquella, aquellos, while in English there are only two distinctions is this or this for near, and that and those for far. Okay? We have two similarities is in both language. Demonstrative adjectives are used to point out and specify the location of a noun in relation to the speaker. Okay? The second is they serve to distinguish between near and far objects. Continue. The second is possessive adjectives. Possessive adjectives in English are words used to indicate possessions or ownership of a person or entity over an object. These adjectives show who sometimes belongs to and are placed before the noun. In English, the possessive adjectives are my, your, his, her, his, her, and their. Okay, continue. The possessive adjectives in Spanish, they are words that are used to indicate and specify the location or proximity of a noun in relation to the speaker. They have the function of indicating whether the object is close to the speaker, close to the listener, or far from both. In Spanish, we have form singular is me, tú, or su. The plural form is mis, tus, or sus. And others is nuestro, nuestra, nuestros, or vuestros, vuestras, vuestros. Okay. The difference and in this part is in Spanish possessive agree in gender and number with noun, while in English they do not. And in English possessive do not vary according to the number of the noun, except for our and your, which are plural. Okay? And similarities is both language possessive indicates belonging, and they agree in number with the noun. Continue. The third part is interrogative adjectives. Interrogative adjectives in English are words used to ask questions about the identification or quality of a noun. These adjectives introduce a question and are placed before the noun they are modifying. And the interrogative adjectives are what, which, whose, how many, and how much. And interrogative adjectives in Spanish are words used to ask questions about the identification, quantity, or quality of a noun. And these adjectives introduce a question and are placed before the noun they are modifying. And the interrogative adjectives in Spanish are qué, cuáles, cuyo, cuántas, and cuánto. The difference is in English, which is used similarly to qué and cuál in Spanish, but there is no clear distinction as in Spanish. And in Spanish, interrogative agree in number and gender, while in English they do not. And the similarities is both language use interrogative to ask questions about the identification of the number of nouns, and they have specific forms for quantity, cuánto, cuántas in Spanish, and how many, much in English. Okay, continue. We have the indefinite adjectives. Indefinite adjectives in English are words used to refer to unspecific quantities or generations. These adjectives modify a noun in a vague way, indicating an indefinite or impressive quantity. In English, the indefinite adjectives include a, and, some, any, every, each, either, neither, another, and other. And indefinite adjectives in Spanish are words used to refer to specific quantities or relations in a vague form. These adjectives modify a noun by indicating an indefinite or impressive quantity. The Spanish definite adjectives are uno, unas, is to refer to say a or and. Alguno, alguna, algunos is to say son. Cualquier, cualquiera is referred to say any. Todo, todo, todas is referred to say every. Cada is how to say each. Otro, otro, otras is how to say other. And the last is ninguno, ninguna, ninguno, ningunas is how to say no one. Okay? The difference in this part is indefinite adjectives in Spanish change their form depending on the gender or a number of the noun they are modifying, while in English they do not. Some indefinite adjectives have different equivalents in English and Spanish, so they may vary depending on the language. And the similarities is in both English and Spanish, indefinite adjectives are used to refer to specific quantities or relations. And the last is both types of adjectives can modify a noun, vaguely indicating an indefinite or impressive quantity. Okay? Continue, we have the last is ordinal numbers. Ordinal numbers in English are words used to indicate a position or order of an element in a sequence. These numbers express the place or element occupies within a series or list. We have examples of ordinal numbers in English. We have the first, second, third, fourth, and fifth. The ordinal numbers in Spanish are used to indicate the position or order of elements in a sequence. These numbers express the place an element occupies within a series or list. Next, we have the examples of ordinal numbers in Spanish: primero, segundo, tercero, cuarto, and quinto. And the difference is, in English, most ordinal numbers are formed by adding the suffix th to the corresponding cardinal number, while in Spanish, the suffix o is added. And the similarities is, both English and Spanish ordinal numbers are used to indicate the position or rank of a noun in a sequence, providing important information about the order or hierarchy of items, events, of individuals. Okay? Continue. We have the important aspects. The first important aspect is, although limiting adjectives in English and Spanish, how many similarities in terms of definition, forms, and function. They also present some distinctive difference. For example, while Spanish demonstrative adjectives offer more detailed distinctions based on proximity, and in Spanish indefinite adjectives show greater variation in form influenced by gender or number. Okay? And the second important aspect is the main difference between limiting adjectives in English and Spanish lies in agreement and linguistic inflection. While in Spanish, limiting adjectives such as demonstrative and possessives agree in gender and number with the noun they modify. In English, this agreement is much more limited, focusing mainly on number. The linguistic variation reflects the different grammatical structures and forms or expression in both languages. Okay? This is a date very important about the explication of this topic. Continue. We have the reference that used to make the presentation, and this is all of my presentation. Thank you very much for your attention, and thank you for watching the video. Goodbye.